So welcome back, anyone that didn't want it to be spoiled.
So, you, on the other hand, Liam, I suggested you a beautiful storytelling game where,
Not great
anything
for
is
a
possible.
phone. You didn't really factor in the medium, shall we say.
If you remember correctly, you were like, I have her story.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
So fuck you.
Just saying.
Don't try and... I also didn't want to do apps. I wanted to do games. So I suggested the perfect thing for what I wanted to do. You played it on a phone.
Yeah, but obviously you knew that we were doing it for phones, right?
No, because I wanted to do games. I didn't want to do apps. And I don't play app games. I literally couldn't have suggested you anything, Liam. I haven't played any games on my phone properly.
Yeah, and I'm not saying let's never do games. I was just saying, for the first one, apps are a nice, cheap alternative.
I don't think you can shift the blame for this onto me and say that it's my fault because I knew we were doing phones. I also didn't play it on a phone, so I have no idea what
Exactly.
it was like on the phone.
All I'm saying...
if you're going to try and edit this to make me seem like the asshole, and I'm not going to let it happen, Liam.
All I'm saying is,
title the episode,
once again, you didn't factor certain things that you knew into your decision.
I think I've realised what's happening.
What?
You know what my opinion of the game you've suggested to me is, right?
No, I don't.
You figured it out. I don't think you know fully, but I think you can guess. And I think that what you're doing is building up a little defensive wall where you aren't quite as happy with my game as you could have been, so that you don't feel as bad when I get real annoyed.
No,
at what you made
it's
me
not
play.
even that. All I'm saying is, like I said to you before, phone games, for me, there's a time and a place for them. Like, I won't just sit down and just immerse myself in a phone game. It's a distraction when something else is going on, okay?
Yeah.
Now, Her Story is not the sort of game that you just mindlessly play while something else is going on. You sit down, you focus, and you concentrate. So,
Okay.
all I'm saying is, as a phone
this does
game...
lead us quite nicely
Yeah.
into what your app was.
Yeah, because what I suggested to you is exactly the sort of thing that I would approach a phone game as being.
Well, let me get to the points I'm going to make, Liam.
Well,
We'll
what
start
game did
properly.
I recommend to you?
Exactly. Thank you, sir. You suggested to me a little game called called Soda Dungeon. I'm just doing that to annoy you.
Yeah, Soda Dungeon. What's the premise?
So Soda Dungeon is a game made by Armour Games, who still are a website that does flash games. They released this app game as a sort of, because mobile games are doing pretty well, I guess. So they were like, oh, we'll cash in as well. So the premise of Soda Dungeon is you are a man, assumedly, or a woman, who is sent to a dimension where they drink soda, I guess. I don't know why. You basically you have 5 party slots to build your little team. You start with a couple. I think the first time you start with one person, and they send you out. You then send that person into a dungeon. You can then click on an enemy to get your person to attack them. Press. Or you can use one of their special abilities. So some of them have magic spells and stuff. Or you can block. Yeah, that's about right. And then you slowly you earn money through the dungeon. You keep that money when they die, and the aim of the game is to get further and further into the dungeon. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you unlock more people as you play. You get money. You use the money to upgrade your tavern, which attracts new clients when you buy a new type of soda. So the game is very much weirdly one of the hints they give you in the game is if you don't want to be doing this, you can press a little button that says auto, and they will just attack constantly. The healer will heal if someone gets too low. If there's enough enemies, the mages will use their spells to do damage to all the enemies. So my first issue with this game is that I just press that button, and I don't really play this game.
Okay.
The only bit I have any interaction with is I logged on, and I've played this seriously every day for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've been playing it. I come home from work. I put this down. I watch YouTube or videos or films, and I have this with me. Every now and again, I look at it and it says, "Oh, you've completed a level or whatever." I hire some new people, give them some equipment, press go, and put my phone down. To me, that's not that interesting
Okay.
because I'm having no effect. The only time it became an issue was so basically every 100 levels you complete.
Yeah.
Or is it 100 levels of the dungeon? Yeah, so there's like 10 stages per level and 100 levels on each floor of the dungeon.
Yeah.
The first time you do it, you get to level 100. If you get to floor 100, you fight a boss.
Yeah.
If you beat that boss, you can teleport to the next dimension, and in the next dimension there are 200 floors.
Yeah, and you also unlock a little bonus thing for completing the 100.
Yeah, you get little they're
boosters.
called relics.
Yeah.
And they give you each one gives you like one will give you a base attack increase.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So you do that, and for the first 400 floors, you can literally just put them on auto and leave it running.
Yeah.
And you will make it eventually, because they'll die, but when they die, they'll have picked up new equipment, which you can then give to the next set. They'll get better, they'll go further. So which is the standard premise of games or this sort of game is the you earn stuff to get further.
Yeah.
Right? So this continues for 400 floors. You then get to the 5th level of the dungeon, 5th dimension even. And on the 5th dimension, do you remember the boss for the 5th dimension, Liam?
Is it the one that you can only kill with healing?
Yeah. So what they've done up to this point, all the bosses have been very similar. Some of them do area effect and hit all your people. Some like cause stuns or sleep on your people. This one, the only way to defeat it is to cast healing magic on it. If you do anything else, it does 0 damage.
Yeah.
So I noticed this happening because I leave my phone and don't pay attention. I was just letting the game run. I was getting to level 500 and dying for like maybe a night.
Yeah.
So the next day I was like, fine, I'll pay more attention.
Because the wizard does actually say at the beginning when you enter that dimension.
Yeah, so they do give you clues, which is fair. They give you clues to what you have to do to beat the bosses.
Yeah.
If they're a boss with a gimmick. So you then get to that point, you figure out it's the healers, which means that I then can't do a whole floor run with my healers. I can't do a party of healers because they're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
But I also know that I've got a very specific party structure that will go the distance. They can go pretty far into a dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I then have to use the warp, which I don't do particularly. I always started on level 1.
Yeah.
Because fuck it, that means I've got about an hour where my phone's just going in the background and I don't have to do anything.
And you're getting more gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that suddenly changes the way that works. And then that's fine if it happened once. But it doesn't. Because all the bosses you defeat, except for the first boss, stay on their floor.
Yeah.
So every time after that point, I know my team will get to level 500. Yeah. I have to be watching for them to get to level 500 or warp ahead of that, which immediately means I can't leave my phone for an hour.
Did you ever get to level, I think, 8 or 900?
No, I got to level 700, which is the fighter boss.
Oh, okay, yeah, so there's another boss later, which is the fighter boss, where you can only destroy it with a certain type again.
But not even that. At least with the healer one, my whole party can stay there. Yeah. When you get to the fighter boss, he casts a spell which causes any non-fighters to immediately die.
Yeah.
So that means I can then, from that point on, I can't do a floor 1 to floor 600 run, or whatever, floor 800 run. So that to me was an issue.
Okay.
That's where
one of the things you did say, that I just would like to point out, is you said that you put it on auto, and then you just didn't have to pay attention to it.
Yep.
And you said, so it didn't really feel like a game.
Yep.
But that was also your choice to play it that way. You could have played it where you did
but what I'm saying is it worked.
It does. Yeah, it does work like that.
So I can't leave Fallout 4 on and just expect everything to be fine. I have to have input with it. You were saying that Her Story didn't feel like a game as much because there was a lack of input, or like you couldn't interact with...
No, I didn't say that made it less of a game. I just said it made it a different game.
Right. Well, to me, it made Soda Dungeon less of a game.
Okay.
If I have... So, because basically, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a premise, or like, not theory, that's the wrong word, but there's this idea in video games where if you give the player an easy way to do something, they will take that route.
Yeah.
Now, the easiest way for me to get from floor 1 to floor 500 is to put them on auto, have a healer, have a knight so they can't get any traps, have a thief so I get all the treasure, have a conjurer to take out all of the big groups. Your knight does the same thing. Then when you eventually get a Rage Zerker, which is the final thing you can unlock, you get a Rage Zerker to buff everyone, or random people, and they will get to floor 500.
Yeah.
So there's no need for me to interact. Me interacting would slow them down.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely.
So that to me is a problem. Like, I get the logic, and I get that I'm not playing it the way that some people will. I know some people will do full-on party structures and be, like, trying to play it tactically.
Yeah.
But I can't, because the game's given me a way to not do that.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the game perfectly for, I think, a good, 2 weeks. But that was enough then. I was like, well, I got to, floor 1,500 or something. I was like, I get it, I don't need to go further with it.
Yeah.
But for those 2 weeks, I found it perfectly enjoyable. And again, it's the perfect poopy game.
See, but But again, I don't know if it is, because surely if I'm just, I don't know, how quickly could you get through floors 1 to 500? See, because for you work at home, which means that if your game is carried on after you're pooping, you can just walk out with your phone on, put it on the side if you have overrun a little bit.
Well, what I would do is I just leave it in my pocket running.
Yeah, see, my phone's quite bright, and most modern phones are.
You can turn the brightness down on most phones.
Yeah, but then also I'm at work and I don't have my charger at work, so I leave it at home. And there's all number of reasons.
Right,
or I might
so
be
you
using
could
my
take
phone.
a charger into work is one option.
So yeah, but then so your solution to me not wanting to run my phone constantly playing this game is it shouldn't be that's a problem with the game that it's taking so long.
I agree. Like,
I should charge.
I didn't run it constantly. It would be
Yeah.
I'd maybe
but
do
I've
it
been running
overnight
less
or something.
The only times I've left it running, and the reason in the blab I said I had some ridiculous amount of hours.
Yeah.
And we then discovered, or I discovered, that one of the issues I had was I was leaving this running so much at night that I would just fall asleep. I'd fall asleep with it on.
Yeah.
So I believe I'm on 68 hours at the moment.
Okay.
But realistically, I've probably played 28.
Yeah, that makes sense.
2 hours a night.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't enjoy it, man. The moment this podcast's done, I'm deleting it.
That's
look
fair
back.
enough. It's a shame you didn't enjoy it. It is one of those games where, for me, it taps into the things that make things like World of Warcraft so addictive, where it's all about giving you incremental rewards.
Yeah, okay. No, that makes sense. I get, I've heard something the other day about, there's basically 3 types of gamers. It sounds like I'm building up to some sort of insult, but I'm genuinely not.
Yeah.
There's like, it was called Type A, Type B, and Type C or something, and it was like...
That was some innovative naming there.
I don't know if that was the actual names either. They might have been better.
Okay.
It was along the lines of one player plays to discover,
Yeah.
one player plays to complete,
Yeah.
and one player plays for... there was a third aspect, like the challenge or something. You know, there's these 3 different types, and not everyone will enjoy the same stuff because not everyone is looking for the same thing. So for me,
Yeah.
her story is my idea of what I want. I want to discover things. I want to be discovering a story. And that's why I think I don't like MMOs particularly, and I don't like these sort of games because I don't get the same rush from getting the incremental rewards, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the other thing is, you know, if you play a game like Soda Dungeon and you're expecting the same rush as a game like Fallout 4...
No, but I didn't go in thinking, oh my god, this is going to be the best game I've ever played.
Yeah.
I've played apps before and I know what they're about. But if we just look at app games, you know, I prefer something like... what's the really good one that you wanted to suggest me, but we both played? Monument Valley?
Yeah.
I
okay.
really like games like that. Just even if they're short and simple little puzzle games or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
discovery games.
Yeah, but then I like puzzle games as well, so I guess that, you know...
But that
that's
does
still
also...
achievable.
I think, you know, you're saying these 3 types of people. To me, it sounds like that's dependent on the game, because personally, you know me, I like discovering, I like completing, definitely, get the trophies, and I also like the challenge. So...
Yeah, no, I think everyone likes all 3.
Yeah,
It's
just
just
on
that
how
people
much.
tend towards... So I would say the fact that you complete games... would tend you towards the completion category.
Yeah.
You still have the discovery, and everyone enjoys all of those aspects.
Yeah.
But I won't go out of my... So if I had to make a choice between the story in a game or finishing it, so I know people that... Like, one of my friends will... In Fallout, he saved at a certain point, went back, played it 3 times to get the 3 endings. I don't think this was you.
You don't think it... No, I got bored of Fallout after a weekend.
Yeah, that's right. No, it was someone else. But he went back and has finished all these 3 different storylines to get achievements.
Yeah.
But to me, that defeats what my character... Like, I think of my character in a linear story.
I get that. For me, if I was to play it, I would do the same to get the achievements, but I would have sort of one playthrough that is like my character playthrough. So I would be playing it, doing what my character would do, and then the other 2 would be just to quickly get those achievements.
Yeah. I get it. I guess that makes sense. The only example I have, the only sort of good example of the way... I think I'm the one with the problem, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think I'm the weird one here. But
Probably.
my best example is when I played Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I played the first one, then waited ages for the second one, went back to play the first one, couldn't bring myself to do it, because I was like, well, my character's not finished his story.
Yeah.
I can't have a second guy and doing different stuff, because my guy's still going. So then I played 2 and 3, ended up making out with the alien chick and becoming BFFs with her, Went back to play them again and was like, oh, maybe I'll try with a different romance option. Couldn't do it. I felt like I was betraying my character.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it made me feel bad. I genuinely couldn't do the flirt options with anyone else because I was like, oh, it would hurt their feelings. They're characters, Liam.
Yeah, you're getting a bit too invested in it.
Yeah, I 100% get too invested in it.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas Soda Dungeon, I did not get invested in those characters, Liam.
No, but you're also not supposed to, because you you send them out to die every time. Like, the game doesn't end until all your characters are dead.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it would be one twisted game if that was kind of...
But yeah, I'm not shitting on the game, and I'm not saying that people that enjoy those games are stupid.
I think the best way to look at it is it's a different type of game for a different circumstance. So let's say
I wouldn't play that as a pooping game.
No, I know, but let's just say, for example, you've got an evening to kill. You're more likely going to fire up the PlayStation and sink that evening into something like Fallout than fire up your phone and sync any app for a whole evening.
Yeah.
But, equally, when you're going to go do a little poop, you're not going to fire up your PlayStation and have a little game on that while you're pooping.
Well, no, that's because most of us poop at work, I guess.
Exactly. So that's when the phone comes in handy.
But even that, see, I think my issue is I'm just not a fan of phone games.
Yeah,
in fact, I find it quite strange that you would have suggested phone games as a topic, knowing my opinion of phone games, which is I don't like them.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a cheap alternative to doing PlayStation, so we didn't both have to dump 40 quid on a game.
Oh wow, I'd have dumped 40 quid to do the podcast, man. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't. No, I'm sorry. I didn't realise that was your attitude towards it.
But would you have dumped 40 quid on a game that you didn't know you would like because I recommended it?
Dude, I have a Steam library of 200 games that I've bought over the years. I've played about, maybe 10% of them? I've bought more games that I don't care about than anything else in this world.
Wow. And people say I've got a problem for buying too many movies.
Yeah, they do, Liam. That's why I don't tell them about my Steam library.
Well, it's now on the internet for all to see or hear.
The thing is, though, Liam, if you speak to anyone that owns Steam, I'm not even joking, the majority, probably 80% of people that have Steam, haven't just bought it for Counter-Strike, will have libraries of 200 games.
And that's one of the big reasons why I don't want to get Steam, because I'd be like that.
Oh yeah, you'd be the worst. You'd basically go to the store and just go, put all in basket, check out.
Yeah, especially if there was a sale on, which I know is quite a big thing, isn't it, the Steam sale?
The sales are murder.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a very deliberate decision for me to not have a Steam account.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, I don't make the time to play my PlayStation enough as it is.
Yeah, no, that's true. Right. Anyway, let's round this off. What would I give it out of 5? 1.
1 out of 5.
1 out of 5.
Okay.
Did not enjoy, will not play again.
Would not recommend.
No. To be fair, I'd recommend it to people that I knew would like it.
Okay.
But for me, it's a 1 out of 5.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
So what are we doing next time then? Are we shaking things up again next week?
Yes, we are, Liam. We've decided that next week we're both going to do a TV series.
Okay.
So we've established a couple of rules with this. If the episodes of the series are 40 minutes or longer, you have to do 3. If they are 30 minutes or less, you have to do 6.
Yeah, so
if it's in between 30 or 40, we'll, deal with that.
Basically, overall, what we're expecting the other person to sink into is a minimum of about 3 hours.
Which we both can probably do.
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
So I, Liam, have chosen for you probably the most critically acclaimed anime in the last 4 or 5 years, which is Attack on Titan.
Now, I have a question for you about this.
Go for it.
Do you know how I feel about anime?
You do not like anime.
Right, so my question is, why would you recommend something knowing I do not like it?
Right, now here's my logic on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Attack on Titan is probably one of the most well-known animes at the moment.
Yeah.
And people that don't like anime have started watching it and been like, oh my god, this is incredible.
Okay.
So my logic here is, other people in the world who don't like anime enjoy this anime.
I should be fair. When I say I don't like anime, it's not because I've watched a lot of it and didn't like it. It just holds zero interest to me. So I've never seen an anime and been like, oh, I wonder what that's like. I just see it and just think it doesn't look like it's for me. So there is an element of ignorance from my part.
Yeah, I'm sure. Seriously, I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
I think one of the problems people have with anime is that they always just imagine it's like kids' cartoons.
No, I always imagine it's like tentacles raping people.
Yeah, exactly. You are a very fucked up person. You're a bit of a dick also. But
Well, like,
this
let's
isn't
be
that.
fair. I've dabbled with anime movies, and I've seen Akira, which is probably the best known anime,
Yep.
and something called Barefoot Gen.
Didn't you make it like halfway through Studio Ghibli?
No, I didn't even start.
Oh, that's right, because you were trying to... Oh, God,
Yeah.
let's not get into
I watched
moving.
Grave of the Fireflies as well. I forgot about that one, to be fair.
Yeah, so none of those. Akira is probably the closest one to what this is like.
Okay.
And this isn't the same mindfuck that Akira is.
Okay. Well, I'll give it a go. Open-minded. You never know.
Yeah, I swear to God, if you just go into it and you're like, I don't like it, and then you watch them all and you're like, didn't like it, I'm going to be very annoyed.
No, I will definitely give it a go. If I don't like it, I will tell you.
That's fine. It's not about liking these things, Liam. It's about experiencing something new, and I think I've been very good at giving you something this week that is new to you.
That is true. And I'm going to really struggle giving something that's new to you, because all of the things that I watch and like, I tend to recommend to you, and then you go and watch them.
Yeah, this is the issue with us being old friends.
Yes.
Is that we have spent a lot of time being like, you should watch this thing I found.
Yeah, so for example, I could have suggested Oz.
You could have, because I wouldn't have seen that if I didn't know you.
Exactly. But you did know me, and now you've seen it.
You could have suggested me Arrested Development, because I never watched that till you told me to.
Exactly.
Imagine me watching Arrested Development for the first time on this podcast.
That would be brilliant.
The fans would have loved it.
Although, to be fair, it probably takes a few more episodes than we would have had to really get into it, maybe. Oh no, six episodes. You probably should have got into it by then. Yeah, that's true. Friday Night Lights is another... is a sort of thing that I don't think you would have tracked down on your own.
Nope, I wouldn't. I hear about it. And
Yeah.
I would have heard about it, but I would never have watched it.
And you liked that as well, I believe.
I do like Friday Night Lights.
So, this is where I've got issues, basically.
So what are you going to give me to watch, Liam?
I'm going to give you a little show I stumbled across over Christmas.
Okay.
It's called The Trip.
Okay.
Stars Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon. And I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, what's it about? Well, without spoiling it.
Without
Is
spoiling
it a spoilery thing?
No, it's kind of just them riffing on each other, really. It's a comedy. You know, the thing is, it's not going to be a show that you'll be like, oh my God, this is my new favourite show ever. But it's also not going to be a show that you're going to really struggle to get through.
Okay, well that's fine. I'm down. I'm down to clown.
Yeah, if I was to give a prediction, I think you'll find it 3.5 out of 5.
Cool. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so that is going to be our next show. So, dear listeners, if you want to get involved, these shows are available on UK Netflix. So watch them, tweet at us, email us, just interact with us, so it doesn't feel like we're just shouting into a void.
It does feel like that sometimes.
Nearly all the time.
I think that's because of the void in my room, though.
Yeah, and in your heart.
That's the one. That's technically in my room.
Technically. It depends where you are, really.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster, and him, Liam Underwood. If you want to get in contact with us, you can tweet us at nerdonnerd or email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. And if you want to help us out a little bit, it wouldn't hurt to go on iTunes, maybe hit the subscribe button, maybe give us a rating. If you're going to give us a 1-star rating, maybe don't do it, but it's up to you. Bye!
Bye-bye!